All of a sudden, golden light flashed from the ground beneath one of the white stone pillars, and a golden beetle shot out of the ice before pouncing at the nearest pillar. A thick beam of white light shot out of the white array, transforming into a white sword in the blink of an eye as it hurtled toward the golden beetle at an incredible speed. The golden beetle opened its mouth to release a ball of golden light, which transformed into a golden vortex, and the white sword was instantly sucked into the vortex, vanishing out of sight in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, the golden beetle continued onward without pause, appearing in front of the white stone pillar in a flash, then instantly swelled to several 100 feet in size, before grabbing onto the pillar with its legs. It then opened its mouth again, and the pair of scythe-like fangs shot out before it chomped down viciously onto the stone pillar. In the face of its peerlessly sharp fangs, the stone pillar was made to look extremely fragile, and a loud crack rang out as a mark was bitten onto it. Xiao Jinhan's expression changed drastically upon seeing this, and he immediately swept a sleeve through the air, releasing a burst of white light that vanished into the stone pillar in a flash. The pillar instantly began to glow radiantly, and a translucent membrane much like Han Li's true extreme film appeared on its surface, giving it an indestructible appearance. However, the golden beetle's fangs were able to pierce through this membrane with ease before sinking into the stone pillar. A crack instantly appeared on the pillar's surface, and the pillar of white light above it immediately began to ripple violently, while the balls of light inside also began to tremble in an unstable fashion. A furious look appeared on Xiao Jinhan's face upon seeing this, and he sprang to his feet before sweeping both sleeves through the air. The white array around him began to buzz and revolve rapidly, as a thick beam of white light that was looking rather shaky and unstable was sent flying toward the golden beetle. At the same time, 2 streaks of translucent white light shot out of Xiao Jinhan's hands, and they were revealed to be a pair of long white halberds that were giving off a formidable glacial aura and tremendous law power fluctuations. As the pair of halberds hurtled through the air, they swelled drastically in size, transforming into 2 streaks of white light, and they reached the golden beetle before the beam of white light did. 2 metallic clangs rang out as the pair of halberds crashed down onto the golden beetle's neck, sending sparks flying in all directions. A pair of long white marks appeared on the golden beetle's neck, and the skin there seemed to have split open slightly, but not a single drop of blood flowed out. Immediately thereafter, the golden beetle reared up to devour the pair of white halberds, crunching on them a few times before promptly swallowing them. A burst of golden light then surged over its body, and the tiny gashes on its neck were quickly healed. All of this had taken place in the blink of an eye, and Xianxia and the other golden immortals were naturally ecstatic to see this. A golden immortal stage. Gold-devouring immortal? How is this possible? Xiao Jinhan felt as if he had been thrust into a nightmare. Those 2 halberds were a prized trump card of his that he had refrained from unleashing upon to this point, and they were capable of tearing through virtually anything, yet not were they barely able to scratch the shell of the golden beetle. They had been eaten. Immediately thereafter, the thick beam of white light struck the golden beetle, and countless runes were flashing within the white light, giving off an immense glacial aura. A white ice mountain abruptly appeared out of thin air, freezing both the golden beetle and the white stone pillar within it. Despite this, the golden beetle didn't appear to have been affected at all, and it was able to quickly struggle free from the ice around it before continuing to sink its fangs into the stone pillar, rapidly widening the cracks that had already appeared on its surface. Before Xiao Jinhan had a chance to do anything else, the white stone pillar was snapped with a loud crack. With the destruction of the stone pillar, the white array at the center of the pillars instantly dimmed slightly. The pillar of white light above the stone pillars also faded, and the balls of white light within it exploded immediately thereafter. The white light around Xiao Jinhan's body also shuddered violently, and his complexion paled significantly as he threw up a large mouthful of blood. This sequence of events also caused the white spirit domain that encompassed the entire valley to tremble and ripple while rapidly shrinking down to its original size. In fact, it was even weaker than before, and looked as if it could disintegrate entirely at any moment. Xianxia and the others were ecstatic to see this, and 3 spirit domains, 1 gray and 2 red, instantly emerged, trapping Xiao Jinhan within them. At the same time, a series of immortal treasures were sent flying toward him from all directions. A hint of panic flashed through Xiao Jinhan's eyes as he hurriedly swept both sleeves through the air, and his spirit domain instantly shrank down even further. But as a result, it had become denser. At the same time, countless snowflakes began swirling around him, forming a white light barrier in the blink of an eye. The light barrier was only able to withstand the barrage of immortal treasures for a few seconds before it was shattered, but the immortal treasures were also sent flying back. Xiao Jinhan's complexion paled even further as he threw up another mouthful of blood, and his aura had also diminished significantly. However, there was no time for him to rest, and bright white light erupted out of his body as he shot back in retreat. Right at this moment, the space around him rippled, and around a dozen black chains shot out in a flash, before wrapping themselves around him almost instantaneously. The white light around his body quickly faded, and he was instantly immobilized by the black chains. His aura was also completely restrained in the blink of an eye, and it was as if he had been reduced to a mere mortal. Immediately thereafter, Feng Tiandu appeared behind him in a flash. Feng Tiandu, if you kill me, the Heavenly Court will be sure to hunt you down. Xiao Jinhan roared. Feng Tiandu paid no heed to those threats as he declared, "Looks like even the heavens are against you, Palace Master Xiao." He swept a sleeve through the air as he spoke, and a streak of translucent black light shot out of his hand before gliding over Xiao Jinhan's body. His expression instantly stiffened, and in the next instant, his entire body was split in half from head to toe, sending blood and entrails gushing down onto the ground. Right at this moment, a burst of white light shot out of his remains, and it was none other than his nascent soul. The nascent soul was completely unaffected by the 3 enemy spirit domains as it fled the scene at an incredible speed, covering a distance of close to 10 kilometers in the blink of an eye. A cold sneer appeared on Feng Tiandu's face as he flicked a finger through the air, and a burst of spatial fluctuations emerged in front of Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul, following which a series of black chains appeared. It was as if the chains had already been set up there well in advance, and they intertwined with one another to form a large black net in the blink of an eye before sweeping toward the nascent soul. Formidable, restrictive law power fluctuations were emanating from the black net, sealing the entire surrounding space in a radius of several hundred feet. Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul wore a grim expression as it opened its mouth to release a white bead. The white bead exploded to release an eruption of white light, which gave off a bone-chilling glacial aura. The black net of chains was slowed down significantly by the glacial aura, and a layer of white ice crystals appeared over its surface, while its restrictive law powers were also significantly diminished. The nascent soul took advantage of this brief opening to dart away to the side as a streak of white light, then continued to fly away into the distance. Feng Tiandu's expression darkened slightly upon seeing this, and he immediately shot forth in pursuit of the nascent soul as a streak of black light. If he were to allow Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul to get away, then the consequences would be catastrophic. Right at this moment, a streak of golden light flashed past up ahead, and Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul abruptly vanished into thin air. Feng Tiandu faltered slightly upon seeing this, and he stopped cold in his tracks, before looking around to discover that the streak of golden light had stopped not far away from him. The golden light faded to reveal the golden beetle, which had already freed itself from the ice mountain and had shrunk down to roughly the size of a human head. Held in the golden beetle's mouth was none other than Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul, which was struggling with all its might, but in complete futility. "You froze me, and now I'm going to eat you, so we're even, Silver Beard," the golden beetle declared as a burst of golden light flew out of its mouth to suck in the nascent soul. The surrounding spirit domain of snow and ice flashed a few times before disintegrating, while the 5 stone pillars rapidly shrank down, reverting back to a set of pillars that were each only around 10 feet tall. Feng Tiandu faltered slightly at the sight of Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul being devoured, following which a hint of greed flashed through his eyes as he sized up the golden beetle. With a sweep of his sleeve, he released a burst of black light that swept up Xiao Jinhan's remains before delivering a white storage bracelet into his grasp. Meanwhile, the other golden immortals had all stowed away their immortal treasures and were flying toward Feng Tiandu. The golden beetle was on the verge of being surrounded by these formidable golden immortals, but it didn't seem to have a care in the world as it swallowed Xiao Jinhan's nascent soul, then climbed back onto the toppled stone pillar and began munching on it once again. Xianxia took a glance at Feng Tiandu, then began to fly around in a covert fashion to get behind the golden beetle. Right at this moment, a streak of azure light suddenly flashed past, and a figure instantly appeared between Xianxia and the golden beetle. Xianxia immediately stopped in his tracks, and his brows furrowed slightly as he cast his gaze toward the figure that had just arrived on the scene. It was none other than Han Li in disguise, and upon spotting Han Li's arrival, Jintong reverted back into the form of a little girl, which was still holding the remnants of the stone pillar in her arms. Han Li took a glance at Xianxia, then turned to Jintong as he asked, "Has someone been picking on you, Jintong?" As he was speaking, he made no attempt to suppress his own aura, intentionally revealing the entirety of his mid-golden immortal stage cultivation base. "I just ate Silverbeard. That's what he gets for freezing me," Jintong replied as she licked her lips with her little tongue. All of the other golden immortals immediately stopped what they were doing, and instead of continuing to approach Jintong, they began sizing up her and Han Li with wary looks in their eyes. It had naturally already become apparent to them that this harmless-looking little girl was actually a gold-devouring immortal that possessed golden immortal stage power. None of them had ever heard of anyone from the northern glacial immortal region owning such a formidable gold-devouring immortal, and such a person was definitely not to be taken lightly.